Virus. One more thing, don't panic. Spreading unconfirmed news about COVID-19 will do more damage than good. Together as one, we will kick out coronavirus. This message is from Stanbic IBTC.
This is Chef Jet 3000. Don't touch that dial because you are listening to Ayo and Valentine on the Smooth Breakfast right here on Smooth 98.1.
Business trends beyond the headlines.
We had a substantial amount of capital available to invest.
Business Express on Smooth 98.1 in association with Stanbic IBTC. Stanbic IBTC. It can be.
We're going in. Smooth 98.1. Love music, love life. This is Business Express instead of Smooth Breakfast. My name is Judith at TV, and Rhodas is here to bring you the news and to help us feel what's going on in our economy today. Hey, Rhodas, good morning.
Hey, good morning, Judith. Good morning, Lagos City. Hope everybody's doing all right.
Yeah. You can be part of the show as always. Send us a WhatsApp message. The number is 0809-444-0981. Again, 0809-444-0981. You can tweet at us. Just make sure to use the hashtag Business Express at 981. We're also streaming live on YouTube, by the way. It's www.youtube.com/Business Express 981. Rhodas.
All right. So, folks, well, I guess the big news coming from the presidency is that President Buhari has approved the immediate reopening of 4 major land borders in Nigeria. Seme in the southwest of the country, Ilela in the northwest, Maitagri in the northwest part of the country, and Mfon in the south part of the country. Zainab Ahmed, Finance Minister, made the disclosure after yesterday's Federal Executive Council meeting. Let me quote her here. "I'm here to just report that His Excellency the President approved the recommendations of the committee that I chaired with the Minister of Trade and Investment as a member, Minister of Interior as a member, Minister of Foreign Affairs as a member, National Security Advisor as a member, and the Comptroller General of Customs. Committee was mandated to review and advise on the reopening of the Nigerian borders. And after recommendations, the President approved the reopening of 4 land borders." And then she mentions them again. She says the 4 land borders will be reopened immediately, while the remaining borders are directed to be reopened on or before the 31st of December. So that's in less than 2 weeks. Mr. President has also directed on the reopening of the borders that while others are being reopened, the ban on the importation of rice, poultry, and other banned products still exists and will be implemented by the Border Patrol team. I'm not really sure what's going to happen in 2 weeks. Why are we waiting till the 31st of this month in order to reopen the rest of them gradually? Also, how do you measure the effectiveness of the closure of the border? So, she's putting it on herself and also on the heads of other ministers, Jeffrey Oyema, Foreign Affairs, and everyone else, saying that they're the ones that pretty much advised the president to reopen the borders. I wonder if it's the inflation figures that push them, because again, 14.89% for headline inflation. We've crossed the Rubicon for 18%, right? So I think we're 18.03 for food. So that's the major driver of inflation. So who knows? Maybe that's what pushed them. But then, I mean, if the inflation figures have been rising, so I'm not really sure what the trigger was. Is it because it's the Christmas is coming up next week, or I'm not sure, because so not really. I don't really know what pushed them to finally do this. I don't know what the gains are to just wait another, because you might as well have just opened everything up. But then they also mentioned the Comptroller General of Customs, who is going to be making sure that things are monitored between now and the end of the year.
Mm-hmm.
But that should have been their job from the very beginning, making sure that the borders were properly monitored in order to make sure that smuggling wasn't taking place. Because they said it was smuggling, they said it was smuggling of food,
Mm-hmm.
smuggling of arms, and so on and so forth. So well, it's I guess we should hopefully see food inflation decelerates a bit. We'll have to just wait and see when everything's so I don't know, we'll probably have to see what the inflation figures are
Mm-hmm.
for January of 2021
Mm-hmm.
in February, because again, things are still elevated. I think we still might see a climb in inflation this year, because demand for everything is still going to be sustained. High demand is still going to be sustained to close out the year. So if you look at the brewery sector, I think international breweries and Nigerian breweries, they've increased prices for some of their alcoholic products in aluminum cans, not all of them across the board. So, I mean, the breweries players have been susceptible to pressure from excise taxes and duties and so on and so forth. And I think it's a bit of a risk for them to be raising prices, but there's going to be high demand for people buying drinks, because people are going to be celebrating, at least celebrating in quotes, depending on the scale to which people celebrate. So, yeah, this Christmas. So, if they're going to, take the risk and increase prices, you're going to see, I mean, look at domestic airfare. It's almost doubled for different destinations. So airfare going up, people buying drinks, so on and so forth. You would expect that inflation pressures will be maintained to close out this year. So we will see the impact. But then, how have you measured
the effects of the closure
of
for
the
this
what
more than a year?
And they didn't tell us. The Minister of Finance never said, okay, this is what we achieved. We closed the borders in August of 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It's now December 2020. Here's what we achieved. We reduced smuggling by 30%. We reduced smuggling of food by 30%. We reduced smuggling of arms by 15%. There's, we are a data-centric world where we want to hear what you. As far as I know, I don't know what's achieved except inflation going up. That was the only consequence of what this move achieved. I can't, So hey, there you go.
There we are. I got messages here. This is Gwenga coming. It goes, finally, they opened the borders. How much did that closure cost the economy? This is MI from Akoka. There is no version of Shalaye by the federal government that will earn them a positive spin. Those borders were needlessly closed without data-backed insights. Now they're just officially opened. He puts officially in quote. And about that advice thingy, I beg, make them shift. The food inflation was pressing their necks. This is Richard from Bagada. I believe the initial border closure is more political than economical. Our government governance process lack direction. This is Yinkus, and it goes, good morning, guys. Leadership that wakes up and makes irrational decisions. I know people that have lost hope on the borders being reopened in 2020 and have shut down operations for the year. Now it has been suddenly reopened. What strategy can a company still make to take advantage of the Christmas shopping season starting next week? It's just a mess. And yeah, that's
Thank
it.
you. By the way, oh gosh, my memory. Am I or was it Benga? Did one of you send me an email? I've got so many. My inbox is just cluttered.
Your brain is.
I'm so yeah.
We probably need a brain replacement for you.
I think it was MI or Benga Cam. I'm so sorry. But if one of you was the one that sent me an email, I saw it. I made a mental note to reply it, and then I got caught up in so many other things. So if it was one of you that sent that email, please resend it. And I'm so sorry I didn't respond. Okay. Another thing on inflation. At 14.89. What do you do? Since today's show is brought to us by Stanbic, I want to read a excerpt from Stanbic here, because they've got a dollar fund, right? And I think one of our other listeners sent this to me. I think it was Lowell. Shout out to Lowell. Change in the minimum dollar fund subscription amount. So we're also pleased. This is from Stanbic. Also pleased to inform you that effective 15th of December the minimum subscription amount for the Stanbic IBTC dollar fund will be $1,000. It skyrocketed to 20,000. I was like, well, I'm sorry, I don't have $20,000. And so a number of people were like, well, that's a little high, but they've brought it down now, and I would encourage people to take a second look at the Stanbic IBTC dollar fund, because look, shout out to Onome from Money Africa. I was on Personal Finance yesterday talking about how to strategize with respect to inflation. Unless you can find returns in Naira that are doing better than 15% or more, you probably want to try and put some of your money in USD. And so some of these dollar funds that allow you to earn interest in dollars are one of the best options that that you have in order to protect your purchasing power. So again, Stanbic IBTC's dollar funds, they've reduced it to a minimum of $1,000 to hop in. If you can get in, I think you put your funds in, and then each subsequent I believe each subsequent addition to your investment is $500, I think. So yeah, so that's what I mean. And you know, there are a number of options out there with respect to dollar funds. So folks, you should consider that, because again, if you think about what the effect of this border closure will be when inflation starts to decelerate. Should I mention UK's inflation number?
I was looking
at the UK's inflation is 0.3%. It was 0.7, and I shouldn't be mentioning the UK, but I just saw yesterday they just released their inflation figures for November. So it went from 0.7 to 0.3. Even South Africa is what I shouldn't even mention all this one, because again, as somebody said, this was an arbitrary decision that was made that was probably less economical than it was what was it, rather political than it was economical. So you know, it's one of the things. So again, as far as strategy, do consider dollar funds, do consider looking, and that's like a fixed income thing, as opposed to looking at equities in the United States, where you have to talk to a financial advisor and you can possibly lose money. With dollar funds, you just put your funds in there, and then it appreciates and earns interest. So again, holla at Stanbic, let talk to an advisor there, then they'll give you more details on that. What else is good? I should have saved this for Tech Friday tomorrow, but Bitcoin crossed $20,000 yesterday in the middle of the afternoon. It's been one wild ride. So it has crossed its all-time high. It was about 19,600 or so in 2017. Then it fell to $3,000 sometime in 2018. It's now skyrocketed again. Some people have called Bitcoin an inflation play. I think inflation is the dominant theme for today. So whether you're looking at the Stanbic IBTC dollar fund, or you're looking at Bitcoin, or you're looking at gold, there are these different options for you. But then Bitcoin is just so expensive. But you can buy it in fractions. But I still think it's extremely volatile. There's a limited supply of it, and I honestly think it's been manipulated. That's what I think, with some big Bitcoin whales out there. So yeah, that's it. Oh, one more thing. Lagos State, guys, let me read this out here. Where is this notification?
You sent it.
Yeah, I know. I said okay. So let me read this. Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Housing invites the general public to a public hearing. Shout out to Yomi the Prof. He actually tagged me on Twitter on this. That's how I saw it. On a bill for a law to regulate real estate transactions in Lagos State and for other connected purposes. So it's happening today at 10 a.m. in Lagos State House of Assembly Pavilion. And I'll ask, hey, look, I'm at work. I can't make it at 10 a.m. And a number of other people are also at work. Lagos State, can you please add a webinar for these things, or stream these items for Lagosians, so that those of us who can't make it, because this is important, and it's important for the states, although they buried it in some newspaper here, they should be putting it on their Twitter handle and everything, because real estate affects us all. Stream these things, stream it live. We can follow it on YouTube, follow it on Instagram, follow it on all your social media channels. But again, if any of you out there can make it, I can't, but it's a Lagos State House of Assembly Committee on Housing on a bill for a law to regulate real estate transactions. Look, when you hear regulate real estate transactions, somebody's looking for money. All right? Somebody's looking for money. So Lagos State is looking at, okay, these real estate transactions, let's try and regulate them. So at least it's good they're inviting the public. You can be present there. You can object to things. You can share your opinions. It's good that the states are doing this, but I can't make it all the way to Alausa at 10 a.m. So stream it, put it online. Let's follow it online, and that way we can see what's going on. So expect something after these meetings pass on. Expect to hear an announcement from Lagos State on how they're looking at regulating real estate transactions.
I got messages here. I'm going to take them real quick. This is Yinka. It says, so those ministers that advised the president to open the borders, it's also safe to ask what made that minister change their mind.
Yes.
Bloody liars. It says 0.3%. Brother Shah want to spoil my day. Yeah, want to spoil my day. 10 a.m. sitting because I'm jobless. Prince here goes. They stream their proceedings on their website. Okay, so that's
they
info
do.
for us.
Okay, thank you for that, Prince.
Thank
Okay.
you so much for that. Rhodas, what is the difference between those economists and policymakers in government and those outside? Why don't they see issues the way we do? What has been a republic inflation figures or Ghana's? That's it.
Well, Ghana, trust me. By the way, Ghana fell into recession yesterday. I just forgot. Well, not yesterday, but their Q3 GDP came out. So Ghana contracted by 3.2% in Q2. They contracted by 1.1% in Q3. So Ghana is officially in recession. They slipped in there, but they are expected to come out
To bounce back.
Yeah, Q4 or early Q1. But our inflation, what's Ghana's inflation figure? I think it's 9. I'll check it. It's 9 or 10%, but I think ours is higher than Ghana's. I'm sure. Yeah.
Well, no surprises there. This is Talk by Goes. Good morning, Rhodas. Can you please explain this IMTO thing? Receiving Naira in a domiciliary account released by the CBN yesterday.
Okay, very quickly. I know we're out of time. IMTOs, International Money Transfer Service Operators. So what it is that through Western Union or all these other service transfer, your folks in the diaspora that send money to you, you used to only be able to collect the FX in Naira. They would convert it for you and you could get in there. But the CBN liberalized it and says you can collect it in either in FX cash, or it can be wire transferred into your account. And real quick, Lagos State website. Thank you, Prince. So lagosstate.gov.ng. I don't see the notification here. I'm going to check and see if it can be streamed, but I'll be looking at it. So if you're curious, because I'm very curious of this real estate thing, because I know Lagos wants to, things have been hard this year. They want to chop money, but lagosstate.gov.ng. And finally, look up the Stanbic IBTC dollar fund. The minimum is $1,000. Let us protect our purchasing power as inflation in our dear country continues to climb.
All right, that's it. Follow Rhodas is at Rotanquote on Twitter. We're out of time. Up next at 7:30. Join us for Freshly Pressed. Join us then.
The headlines.
Thank you.
Business Express on Smooth 98.1 in association with Stanbic IBTC. Stanbic IBTC. It can be.
It's Valentine and Ayo on the Smooth Breakfast Show. Stay tuned.
Do you know that COVID